I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
So I was going to ask you to talk about that. Why do you think it's so important to not just create a space like this for men, but for Black men in particular?
I mean, look at the state of our community right now. I mean, we're under attack. We are absolutely under attack in all facets. And I think that it's incumbent upon us as men to lead. Listen, I'm a man's man. And sometimes that's not received well. I can be harsh at times, but with the way I was raised, the way I was, taught coming up, I never doubted for 1 second that I was loved by the men that were in my life. But they didn't play no games with me. And that came from my dad to my uncles, men in my church, coaches. And I think that I am a much better man because they had such high expectations. They set a high standard for me. And I realize that not everybody receives that. So sometimes you have to change your approach. But I think that we really need to get our brothers on one accord so that we can level up and do more for our community. I'm not going to say we're not doing anything, but do more for our community.
I think that that's important, of course, because like you said, there's more vulnerability when the spaces are protected. And so we have to make sure that we're keeping those safe spaces protected so that people can actually benefit from the information that's going to be going around there, because sometimes we can get a little back and forth and then that takes away from what we're really trying to do. But so like,
and just think about it too. Let's keep it real. Because I asked some folks, I said, why would women want to show up to a conference that clearly says active Black dad? And you know what a lot of the women said?
Because I'm the dad.
No. I was on I was on a personal mission to end that nonsense. Remember on Father's Day, people be like, "Say Happy Father's Day to me because I'm the man. I'm the dad and the mom." Yeah. Like, man, shut up. No, you're not. You're the mom. But so most of the responses were they just trying to be nosy. Tell them no. That's what women was telling me. They're just trying to be nosy. Tell them no. Several of them said that. Just say no. No, yeah. It's for men. And then some of the other women say that, hey, we want to attend because we want to see the men there so we can check out and see what men is there. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, no, this
happy
ain't no
hour.
No,
they can come to happy hour afterwards.
Yeah,
this happy hour on the end. At the happy hour,
you say this ain't that. Yeah, you can have a little happy hour, and the ladies are welcome to the meet and greets at the end of the day.
We're not having a happy hour, but maybe again we'll have another event where everybody can come, and if you want to try to find your boo thing, then you can do that. But this ain't the place.
This ain't that. I think that for me, because I've never been to a panel or anything like that, so I was thinking more along the lines of moms trying to bring their sons or teenage boys. That's what I was thinking of it as. So not necessarily to be nosy, but like if I have a child that hasn't had a strong male role model in his life, and I'm like, he might benefit from this. It's like that series Dennis was doing about teaching kids how to do like car maintenance, oil changes and things like that. Like I didn't have to do things like that because I had brothers, but then it's like, what if you don't have those resources? So I was thinking of it more or less as in how to connect single moms or male children that don't have those active role models to other men who are actively stepping up in those roles.
My response to that would be this, and laugh, weigh in. So my dad was much older. My dad was like 43 when I was born, and he he worked hard and he played hard. So the examples he set, were there, but I needed other people to fill in the gaps in different places, right? And my mom made sure to find those places. But you know what she did when she found those places? Go in there, ask them what time I need to pick you up. Because I trust the men that are there, and I wouldn't be dropping you off somewhere where you would be put in jeopardy or in harm or whatever, right? We ain't leaving you around no perverse or anything like that. But yeah, you need to learn about being a man from men, and I don't need to be there holding your hand. It's just like in football, you know, Pee Wee football, most of the moms, when they watch and practice, the moms that get it, in my opinion, they don't say nothing when the coaches get on their boys because they know they need that structure. They need that redirection from a man. They need to hear a man's voice, right? And the sisters that I've seen who have had a problem with it, the other women who get it, they say, girl, if you don't leave that boy there and go sit in the car and let the men handle it. Now, there's times where you know, think obviously there's crazy people, right? But that would be my response to that. If you got somebody young, drop them off with us. We ain't gonna let them back. We gonna feed them, and then you know we're gonna send them back to you.
So is there an age limit?
That's just about to say. That leads into another question: is there a age range that you're targeting that you would prefer?
I think that high school would be the limit. I don't think, you know, junior high or elementary would really benefit for some of the topics that we're talking about. I think, and I'm shooting for like 16 and up. You know, we'll probably take some 15-year-olds, but if you're in high school, there's something that you can come and you can, you know, you can glean from the information that's gathered. Because when you start getting too young, the topics might be too heavy for them. And then when it's too young, they're not really even looking at it as this is something I can learn. This is something that my dad and my grandfathers are talking about. And, you know, kids automatically block that out. So we would say high school and up.
And that's the age really that your mom doesn't need to be there anyway. So, you know, once you get about 16, drop them off with the elders in the community and let them you know, deal with the young fellas.
I mean, I remember I was probably like, I don't know, man, because we came up in different times, right? We could just ride our bikes all across town.
Yeah.
And then as long as you come home when you're supposed to come home, you know, that was it, right? But I remember getting dropped up at the barbershop, Styles on the east side of Topeka. And you learn a lot about manhood at the barbershop. You learn about what a good man looks like. You learn what a not so good man looks like at the barbershop because they all there. Because, you know, the one thing about growing up in a small town, Topeka, like at the time when I was coming up, may have been 120,000, 150. I'm gonna say it's probably close to 120,000. So it's not a big city at all, right? Um, so there isn't that separation like when you go to a big city. So you may have like here in Dallas, may have like a DeSoto or whatever where black men, I don't have that way of saying this, who may be more educated, career focused or whatever, they may go to a certain type of barbershop, certain place to hang out or whatever. Whereas people who aren't of that ilk are going somewhere else. In Topeka, when you got such a small town, everybody black goes to the same place. So you're going to see that mixture and that those different dynamics when it comes to black masculinity, and you learn from them all. Like I moved to Houston because I remember growing up in Topeka, and you know, we used to say going to Kansas City was like a major thing. We'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to the city today." That's how small our mindset was, right? And then there was one dude who was like, "Man, yeah, like going to Kansas City is like a major deal." And him just saying that made it seem like, damn, I guess he's right. You know, and once you grow up and you know you go to college, whatever, you realize like, dude, there's so much more to see than just going to Kansas City, right? And I remember there was an old man there, and I don't know his name. I couldn't even remember him, but I remember him sitting there saying, "Man, shit, y'all need to move to Houston. Houston, man, you can make money, and they got all kind of women, and they making money, and they don't need y'all. That's where y'all need to be." And years later, it is funny how like you drop a seed and you don't know where it's going to plant, right? Years later, where did I go? I moved to Houston. And he was absolutely right.
He said he did not steer me wrong.
He did not steer me
At all.
wrong. Yeah.
At all. Yeah.
That's funny. So you talked about the ladies being interested in the event. How do you anticipate or hope that this event will grow in the future to maybe include some family events as opposed to just active Black dads?
Well, man, it's my hope that obviously, we're saying this is the inaugural event.
Mhm.
Definitely want to do it every year. I also want to do it in other cities as well. I started in Topeka because Topeka's smaller. I know the infrastructure, I know the people. So that's why we're starting there. But it's my hope that this can become a national thing. And we can do it in one particular city, and that's the city that would be in. It might be Dallas, maybe somewhere else. But that's the hope that where we grow from there. And then if there's some opportunities to spin that off to focus on family events and get our sisters involved, I'm not opposed to that, but I would say that that's not really my wheelhouse. I know about fatherhood, I know about holding men accountable, and
Mhm.
that's really what I do. So I probably just stay with that.
That makes sense. I was thinking when you were talking about the different podcasts and things that you do, I know you work with Dr. Tori, and so I didn't know if maybe there had been some type of discussion on maybe having a counterpart, whereas there's one for, the men, but there's also something in the works for women.
Well, Dr. Tori got her own event, the ACES conference that she's already done it for 2 years. So she's tried and true when it comes to this, and hers is global. She's
Mhm.
international. She has people coming in from the UK, from everywhere to come in and go to her conference to talk about, adverse childhood experiences. So she's already doing something. So I help her when I can. But yeah, it could be, hey, Rika, it could be you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
want
why
me
not?
to help people with their mental health.
Hey, listen, I'm not a mental health expert.
Exactly.
I knew how to find the people who were.
Mm,
Yeah. You don't
yeah.
call yourself doctor either. But anyway.
I
Now,
know
hey,
somebody that knows somebody.
hey, listen, hey, listen. If I could get Cheyenne to come through, hey, come through, Cheyenne. Come through.
So
Somebody